What's up, Beta Nation? Welcome to Dapp Central, your home for everything blockchain and crypto. I'm your host here, Fareed. As a part of today's video, we're diving into the latest updates for the Cardano ecosystem. First things first, we've got the Cardano Foundation officially joining Intersect. Following that, we've got some big news and some interoperability taking place between Bitcoin and Cardano, with El Raulito, a developer from Fluid Tokens, showing off new capabilities for Plutus V3. Now, after that, I want to briefly discuss and highlight WMTx, the brand new token, which will be migrated to from anybody or for anybody who's currently holding WMT. Now, after that, we've got some pretty big controversy or some drama going on as always. We've got the founder of SNEC proposing a pretty crazy idea, but it started a pretty big debate in the ecosystem. So I want to quickly get your opinion as to that particular proposal. Now, in closing, we've got a slew of miscellaneous updates touching on gold launching on Cardano through Finest. We've got an upcoming token launch for Metera and much more. If it's your first time stopping by the channel, again, my name is Fareed. I aim to provide you in the ecosystem with all of the latest news, highlights, and interviews. So if you do appreciate content like this, make sure to smash that thumbs up on the way in. If you want more, consider subscribing. And if you have any questions about anything we're discussing today, make sure to leave a comment down below. Now, I'm also a single stake pool operator. Huge shout out to all the delegators here supporting me. We officially crossed over 53 million ADA delegated to the Dapp Central stake pool. I can't thank you all enough. Now, if you want to go ahead and join the community or join by delegating, you can go ahead and do so by delegating to the official Dapp Central stake pool, which is stake pool ticker DAPP. Now that we have the introduction out of the way, let's jump into the first bit of news here. So it states we're stronger together. That's why the Cardano Foundation is pleased to announce today that it's joining the Intersect MBO. As we enter Voltaire, which, if you aren't aware, we've officially crossed into Voltaire with the official release of Chain version, or the Chain hard fork node version number 1. The Foundation's participation in the Intersect MBO will play a crucial role in shaping the future of the network. Now, the team did release a fully dedicated article, but before I dive into that, I'm just going to read a short snippet there. If you do want to go ahead and join the Intersect MBO, keep in mind that anybody can join. You can join as a single member, or you can join as an actual project or group of people. But once you actually join, you're able to contribute to marketing, to budgets, to governance, to stable coins, liquidity, like whatever your passion is, there is a working group within the Intersect MBO that can help you to go ahead and contribute to that. Now, jumping over to the official article that was released, it states that as an independent organization dedicated to advancing Cardano as a utility for financial and social systems, we recognize the importance of a community-driven governance approach. Now, one thing that I think a lot of people overlook is the fact that the Cardano Foundation is an entity on its own. And so they don't by any means, right, have control over the actual blockchain or the ecosystem. They've got to go in through the front door just like everybody else, just like you and I do. So in closing, it states here, this is from Frederick Agard, the CEO of the foundation. Through our membership in Intersect, we aim to contribute our expertise and resources to strengthen Cardano's operational resilience and to drive diverse use cases on the blockchain. Now, we've seen the Cardano Foundation spearheading the task of getting USDC on Cardano. We haven't actually had any fruit come out of that just yet, but don't knock them, right? We've also heard Frederick Agard talking about the fact that different states within the US have reached out to the Cardano Foundation to be able to see if Cardano could be used as an alternative solution for voting, right, as the elections are now coming up. Now, granted, I don't think that that's going to happen this particular voting cycle, but do keep in mind that within the US, I believe it's every 2 years, there's pretty big elections taking place throughout different states. Now, overall, this is extremely bullish. This is exactly what you want to see from a founding entity. And so I would love to also see Emergo and then IOG also making similar announcements about the fact that they're joining the Intersect MBO. Jumping into the next piece, we've got El Raulito, the developer for Fluid Tokens, a lending and borrowing platform here within the ecosystem that has also branched out into the Bitcoin network as well. If I'm not mistaken, they were one of the first runes-based dexes, or they may have been an ordinals-based dex, but one of the first lending and borrowing platforms on Bitcoin. So he states here that he's now been able to control a Cardano-based wallet using a Bitcoin address. Now, keep in mind that Bitcoin and Cardano both use UTXO. It's just that Cardano extends that with the smart contracting capabilities. And with the brand new node upgrade that we've just got bringing us into Chain, that's now enabled for new features to come about with Plutus v3. And so he states that this particular contract address that he's built using Plutus v3 allows a Bitcoin wallet to control it directly. Now, as a TLDR, this basically allows for interoperability. Right now, that doesn't mean that you can just spin up a Bitcoin wallet and send Cardano native tokens to it, but this does bring a little bit of interoperability between the Bitcoin network and the Cardano ecosystem using Plutus v3. So breaking down how this actually works, he states that Iagon was used to write the smart contract, and that because this is SIP69 compatible, this allows for the programmability of that particular smart contract address. Now, this supports the ability to send assets, delegate, and withdraw rewards, and that's all being done or controlled through a transaction signed by a Bitcoin wallet. Now, he states here that he's also using Mesh SDK to create an off-chain transaction, given the fact that a lot of other libraries are currently missing Plutus v3 support. Scrolling over here, he highlights the fact that this is basically a signed message of the UTXO or of a UTXO within the smart contract on the Cardano network that is targeted by the user on Bitcoin with a signed message from the Bitcoin wallet. So he states that the contract can verify the signature and perform the action. And from the end user's perspective, they're basically signing a message within their Bitcoin wallet, again, targeting a particular UTXO held within that smart contract address on the Cardano network. And so using that Mesh SDK or that Mesh.js SDK, it's able to build an off-chain transaction that is then executed on-chain on the Cardano network. So this is pretty big bullish news here. Again, a lot of interoperability news coming out. Now, jumping over to the next slide here, if you missed it when Plutus v3 officially dropped or initially dropped, they had a piece here surrounding the inclusion of Keccak 256 cryptographic hash functions. So it states here that the Keccak 256 cryptographic hash function supports Ethereum signature verification within scripts, and the fact that this is crucial for cross-chain solutions, and the fact that it also facilitates community projects by expanding the use cases here on Cardano. Now, back when this was actually released, I released a fully dedicated video breaking down how this Keccak 256 cryptographic hash function basically works and how it can be used in order to allow somebody who has a ETH-based wallet or MetaMask-based wallet to interact and to verify and potentially unlock ADA on the Cardano network, with the signature verification taking place on the Cardano network or the Cardano ecosystem. Now, in addition, we've also seen a pretty big update here. This was released by the NuFi team with MetaMask support directly for Cardano. And so this basically allows or uses what's called as a MetaMask Snap plugin. And through the use of this plugin, anybody who has a MetaMask wallet can easily create a Cardano-based address associated, and that can be controlled directly from the MetaMask wallet. And so this lowers the barrier to interoperability between the ETH ecosystem and the Cardano ecosystem. So taking a look here with this NuFi integration, taking a look at the Keccak 256 cryptographic hash function, and then most recently, what El Raulito has been able to do with Bitcoin, it seems like interoperability is finally growing, and that Cardano is finally stepping out a little bit and becoming more friendly, right? Or more capable to interact with other ecosystems. In addition, I've mentioned this in prior videos as well. Keep in mind that we've got a lot of bridges as well. So we've got Chainport, WanChain, and we've also now got IBC bridges for the Cosmos ecosystem. And then I want to say there were a few other bridges which right now escape my mind, but in a nutshell, interoperability is here, in that these types of updates are exactly what we want to see as people finally begin to upgrade to Plutus v3. Now, if you're enjoying today's video, as always, please make sure to smash that thumbs up. I really do appreciate it. It's one of the best and easiest ways to support me as a content creator. If you want more content, again, consider subscribing to the channel. And last but not least, if you have any questions or comments, leave those down below. And if you want to take your support a step further, consider delegating with the official Dapp Central Stake Pool, which is stake pool ticker DAPP. Moving over into the next bit here for today's video, I've got a nice and sweet piece here surrounding the World Mobile Token. If you're not aware, WMT will be replaced by WMTx. As it stands right now, the migration portal should begin to open on September 30th, and keep an eye out on all of the official World Mobile communication channels for more announcements and details as time goes on. Now, if you aren't aware, I am a World Mobile ambassador. And so early this morning, the ambassadors were all able to get on a call and do a test run of the actual migration portal. Now, I can't share all that content just yet, but once the official platform launches, I'll be able to quickly dive into that and hopefully provide you guys with more educational content about how you can safely and quickly migrate your tokens as well. Now, just doing a little bit of on-chain sleuthing, I was able to find the policy ID associated with the brand new WMTx token, and then plugging that in here into Pool PM, we can confirm that right now there's about 52,000 of the WMTx tokens that have been minted and that are currently in circulation. Again, keep in mind that right now the official portal isn't open, but as it does open, we should see that number continue to grow. So that's it there. Wanted to just quickly touch on that. Do be careful. I've already seen a couple of fake Twitter accounts asking or pretending to be support for World Mobile. So do keep an eye out on that. Next, we've got a little bit of drama taking place here with Goofy Crisp and an interesting proposal that was made a couple of days ago. So he basically came out of nowhere and proposed Cardano should use some of its treasury to create a meme fund to buy some of the top meme tokens. Now, this would send a strong message to outsiders that Cardano supports memes and that this would also start a chain reaction, bringing in more investors, therefore also increasing liquidity, teams building on Cardano, trading volume, listings, and more. Now, as you guys can imagine, because Goofy Crisp actually created SNEC, which is by far the biggest meme token right now in Cardano, people saw this as a huge bit of conflict of interest. And so a lot of people were like very vocal about not supporting this, with K-Tors, a developer here, basically stating that he would basically be backing out of the Cardano ecosystem if anything like this had actually come about, right? So I'll let you guys read that little bit there, but interesting to think about how people want to use the treasury funds. And of course, I definitely would not be for something like this, for the simple fact that if we begin to pick winners and we begin to allocate the Cardano treasury towards boosting meme tokens of all types of tokens, right? That's going to create the mindset or the mentality that it's okay for proposals like this to come about. And once we do see something like that, I think that we're going to see people getting bolder and bolder with those types of requests or those types of on-chain governance proposals. Now, one thing to keep in mind here as well is we saw the Avalanche network putting out, I want to say it was $100 million of tokens into boosting the meme ecosystem. This was about 6 to 7 months ago. Now, of that, yes, they did see increased trading activity for a couple of months, but what they ultimately saw was people exiting or selling their tokens after the liquidity was injected into whatever meme coins it is that they had said that they'd be injecting their liquidity into. And so I worry that the same exact sort of sentiment would happen here on Cardano if we begin to use treasury funds to boost liquidity or to directly back individual projects. Now, taking a look at stable coins, on the other hand, again, this is an open conversation. Let me know what you think. But I would definitely be a little bit more comfortable using treasury funds to back or to mint stable coins, because that therefore reinforces the use of those types of assets in the ecosystem. But using that specifically for liquidity for a meme token, I can't necessarily say that I'm backing that particular idea. Now, earlier today, we saw Goofy basically clearing up the fact that his initial suggestion was just to poke and to start a conversation, which he definitely did. Again, a lot of people were super, super vocal and super critical of his proposal. Some people are in support. But again, if you're not a backholder of SNEC, that type of proposal doesn't benefit you or the entire ecosystem at all. So he states here, to be clear, I've got no intention of formally proposing the purchase of the Cardano meme coins with the treasury funds. My goal was to spark a discussion, and it worked. And so again, with governance officially here, I believe we're now nearing 500 DREPs. These are the types of conversations that we have to have and that we have to be open about having, right? So instead of shutting down people like Goofy Chris for bringing up some of these different things, while the idea on the front or on the surface, while it might sound crazy, these are things that we have to think about, because I think that it's inevitable that we will get governance actions asking to use funds for personal gain. And so that'll do it there for that little bit. Now, as we get ready to wind down, I want to do a speed run through the last bit of announcements here, starting with the fact that Finest Tokenize is aiming to bring gold on Cardano this current week. So I'll obviously have more news about when the actual mint begins, how much supply will be there, and exactly how much interest you could possibly earn, right, through holding or through purchasing these RWAs. Keep in mind that it was, I believe, about a 3-month vesting period for a 10% basically risk-free earning for the tokenized granite, which was the first sale done through Finest. Moving over, we've got updates surrounding the Indigo protocol. So there's their form, which now has proposals to bring forth upgrades for the following. Number one, to use algorithmic interest for better price stability. Number two, to add the possibility to repay interest at any time for your collateralized debt position. Number three, to enable direct interest payments for indie stakers. And then number four, to use the Treasury funds to stake to the Easy One stake pool. Moving right over, we've got more news surrounding the DexScreener integration that was done about a week and a half ago. So this is David Solomon. He's the CPO of CoinMarketCap. And this is actually brand new news to me. But he's basically hiding the fact that while people were celebrating DexScreener integration about 2 weeks ago, that people overlooked or continue to overlook the fact that CoinMarketCap actually also has their own DexScreener with more support than we currently have with the other DexScreener integration that we saw about 2 weeks ago. So I jumped over to CoinMarketCap, and he in fact was not, he wasn't wrong. So we can see here that we've got all of the major Cardano token assets here. And then they've also got support for MintSwap, Vive Finance, and Wing Riders, where the other DexScreener platform only currently has support for token pairs coming in from Saturn Swap. So obviously this is a little bit more variety. My only concern here is that this may not necessarily get as much traffic as the other platform, which has a lot more degens and a lot more traffic coming to it. Now, nonetheless, CoinMarketCap is relatively big, but I think people mainly use it just for pricing data, not necessarily for coming on here and trading and using it as a DexScreener. But nonetheless, the information is still here. So shout out to them. Next, we've got an update coming in here from the Metera team. They're launching their Metera token generation event using the Axo Trade token launchpad. So the last two projects that we've seen using that launchpad have officially sold out. The first was Dedium, a decentralized GPU marketplace. And then most recently, we saw the Strike Finance team bringing derivatives and options to Cardano, also selling out using the Axo launchpad. So big hopes here for Metera. I'll actually be sitting down with Daniel Sampson, the co-founder of the Index protocol or of the Index platform, over the course of the next 24 hours. If you have any questions, leave those down below. But I'll be providing you guys more details about their launch and then also their ISPO rewards, which if you were delegator or a delegator to the Dapp Central Stake Pool, you'll be earning some of those rewards. Moving over, we've got some pretty big news here as we get ready to close out, coming in from Iagon, as they've now introduced a brand new private distributed cloud storage for enterprise partners. So it seems like they've now taken the enterprise route, where a lot of the founding entities for Cardano, including Emergo, have also taken that route. And so as opposed to creating products that cater to everyday users or single users, they're now thinking big picture. How do we onboard businesses with over, 500, 600, 700 employees, if not thousands of employees? And so very similarly, we've seen the Cardano Foundation partnering up with oil field businesses. I believe it was Petrobras, a lot of enterprise-based relationships to really grow the adoption rate for Cardano. And as Cardano begins to be taken more seriously amongst enterprises, that adoption will inevitably flow down to everyday or single-based users. So it states here, enterprises will soon be able to choose trusted compliant storage providers while benefiting from the security and cost efficiency of the decentralized storage model put forth by Iagon. And so they do have a full dedicated article here. Again, for the sake of time, I won't be able to dive into it, but in my own personal time, I'll be breaking this down, getting a little bit more knowledge, and then also be sitting down with Navjeet, or the founder and CEO of Iagon. So if you have any questions about that you want me to present to Mr. Dhaliwal or Dr. Dhaliwal, let me know, and I'll make sure to go ahead and do so. But I believe that will bring us here to the end for today's update here, breaking down the fact that the Cardano Foundation is officially joining Intersect. We've got El Raulito bringing interoperability between Bitcoin and Cardano, as well as updates surrounding WMTx, and the fact that governance is officially here with a lot of crazy ideas floating around. And then last but not least, touching on some of those miscellaneous and upcoming token sales. That'll do it here for this update. If you found any portion of it to be helpful, I would appreciate you if you could smash that thumbs up. If it's your first time stopping by the channel and you want more content like this, consider subscribing. And last but not least, if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, leave those down below. That said, and as always, I'll see you guys in the next video.